Hi, this is Bonnie from Mom by Example. And the past couple weeks, I've gotten 3 emails asking me how in the world does a mom of all young children ever find free time during the day? And I remember those days. I remember when my oldest was 5, the next one was almost 4, then I had a 2-year-old and a newborn. And I thought, you know what? I don't know if I can ever even take a shower again. I was busy, it seemed, 24 hours a day. There would never be free time again for me. It's just the way that's the way it seemed. And one day when I was wallowing in self-pity and wondering how I'd ever find free time, even just 10 minutes, if I could just have devotions, even, just 10 minutes a day, even 2 5-minute periods, I'd be happy. I got a phone call from a girlfriend who had 5 children. They were older than mine, but she had them close together. And she asked me how I was doing, and I said I was fine, except I completely gave up the idea that I would ever have free time again in my entire life. And she laughed and said, oh, no, no, no. There was a system that an older woman had given her, and she'd love to pass it on to me. So I'm going to pass that on to you. It worked for me. In fact, I still use it today, even though mine are teens and older. And that was pick an hour a day that works for you, meaning the mom. Well, for me, 2 to 3 seemed like a great time for me to have free time. At first, it seemed like a dream. It would never happen, but she explained how to do it, and it works. At first, we had 3 boys in one room, and then the newborn slept in our room. And she explained that I would explain to the boys what was happening, that Mommy needed an hour of free time, and that they would learn how to play quietly in their beds. And so at 2 o'clock, I put them in their beds. I gave one Matchbox cars, another one some picture books to look at, another one some Legos. And I said, for 10 minutes, you're going to play quietly in your room, and Mommy's going to be in the living room reading. And they did it, and 10 minutes later, I rewarded them. We had a healthy snack, we played a game, and the next day I increased it to 15 minutes. And after 2 weeks, just Monday to Friday, they were sitting on their beds quietly playing for an hour a day. Now, the 3-year-old and under, I found when they're 3 and under, they can sleep for the hour. Usually they fall asleep. The hardest one to make this work with is a newborn, because it's really hard to do that schedule right away. But the others, it works really nicely. My girlfriend also suggested that during that hour, I not do anything that I really don't love doing. So she said, if you're behind in the washing dishes in the sink or doing laundry or vacuuming, she said, that's not the time to do it. Because 5 minutes after the hour's up, when all the children are awake again, the floor is going to be dirty again, the laundry's still going to need to be done, there's going to be dirty dishes in the sink, and you'll feel like that whole hour was wasted. So unless you really like doing that, don't do that. I decided I would read for an hour. I hadn't read a book since before I had children because it just wasn't time. So for that hour I read, and then there were a couple of days a week, just from Monday to Fridays I did this, that I started scrapbooking. Put all of my materials in a plastic milk crate, and I'd pull it out for an hour between 2 and 3. And within a year, I had almost all of my children's pictures in scrapbooks. So that's what I did. It worked for me when summers came around, and the boys, my oldest 4 boys, when they started getting older, like 8, 7, 6, I would go outside with them. I'd be on the patio, they'd have to play in the sandbox or quietly ride their tricycles and bikes in the yard. They knew that was Mom's quiet time, that she was doing something special. So I could still watch them, but it was still my hour. And even today, as the children are older and it does get easier and you do have free time, from 2 to 3 is my time. Now, if something comes up, I don't say, oh, I can't, I'm sorry, 2 to 3, I don't do anything but sit on the sofa. I would never do that. Even during those days, if something came up, it was a mom's group or a Bible study, or moms wanted to come over, or I wanted to go out with the children, we just did that. But I knew that each day the children were very content. They learned how to stay in their bedrooms, on their beds, and quietly play for an hour. When the hour was up, we had a real healthy snack or a healthy dessert, played a game or two, a board game, made a puzzle, did some Legos together. So it was sort of like a reward 5 days a week. So I would encourage you to try that. If you're like me and you think you'll never have free time again, you'll never get another shower in, at least on a daily basis, it's not true. Those times will come, and you can have free time, and it's a blessing.